What is up, Ludi Bros Army? It is your boy, Big Bro Lamar Ludi, and I'm sitting down today to talk about a preview for the Eastern Conference Finals here in the year 2020 down at the Bubble in Orlando. We've got the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics setting up to square off. Now let's go ahead and look back quickly at the teams that they beat to get here. The Miami Heat dispatched the Milwaukee Bucks fairly easily. They were able to get around the Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis, and the rest of the Bucks. They put them away, and they made it here quickly in 5 games. The Boston Celtics had a 7-game series going up against the Toronto Raptors, which lasted a little bit longer than I think it should have. But you see Boston getting the win, being the deeper team, being able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in advance. Now we've got the Heat and the Celtics getting ready to square off. So what we're going to go ahead and we're going to see here is we're going to see Jimmy Butler leading the way of a tough, defensive-minded team. Eric Spoelstra is going to have them ready to play. He's going to have them ready to lock in defensively with some schemes to try and slow down what the Celtics like to do on the perimeter. The additions of Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder are going to be huge. Those guys weren't there when the two teams matched up in the regular season before this NBA bubble manifested, and those were 2 games that Boston won. Now you've got Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala here who are able to defend out on the wing and provide some veteran leadership, especially coming from Iguodala, who's got some championships on his resume. From Boston's side, though, we've got a depth. We've got a very deep team. We've got, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, all playing very well. Kemba Walker struggled in the last round against the Toronto Raptors, so I'm expecting him to kind of bounce back. Now, people might be saying that Spoelstra might take a page out of Nick Nurse's book to throw the box and one over onto Kemba Walker, but I say that now that we've had some time to play against that box and one, Brad Stevens, the pressure is going to be on him to come up with something that's going to free up Kemba Walker and let him go ahead and be aggressive. Now, some people like to say that this team's only going to go as far as Kemba Walker is going to take them. I disagree. I think that the fact that you've got Jason Tatum out there emerging as a superstar, if you look at his Game 7 numbers against the Toronto Raptors, he put that team away. He put that team away for good. He stepped up to the free throw line, making some clutch free throws after the rookie Williams missed his 2 free throws, and he was able to really ice that game and take that next step to the superstar status. And I think a win in this series against the Heat will do a lot to solidify his standing as he's going forward, gaining experience, and becoming a better overall NBA player. Now, the Miami Heat also have players that are continuing to improve. Tyler Hero played very well against the Milwaukee Bucks. He stepped up in big moments. He had some key, crucial plays to go ahead and ice that series. I'm going to continue to expect good things from him as his play continues to mature and develop. And Goran Dragic is another overlooked weapon that the Miami Heat have been utilizing. I expect him to be a crafty and wily veteran out there on the floor. But the Heat are going to go as far as Jimmy Butler can take them. I know that they have a lot of pieces. Another piece that I'm going to go ahead and mention is Kelly Olynyk. He's a former Celtic, and there are times when I wish that we still had him on our roster while I was watching these first 2 rounds of the Eastern Conference playoffs. I think he's going to do good things in this series too. I think it's definitely matching up to be a dog fight. But as I said earlier in this video, the Boston Celtics, I believe they have just too much depth. And I think that's going to be one of the big differences here. We haven't even touched upon Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and how much that those two really contributed in the previous 7-game series against the Raptors, especially Marcus Smart. He really emerged with Gordon Hayward being out. Marcus Smart stepped into a starting role. And I mean, he had my vote for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he had the block on Norman Powell that, if Jason Tatum iced the game offensively from the free throw line, then it was Marcus Smart who iced the game defensively for the Celtics with that block on Norman Powell to make sure that the Raptors weren't able to tie up the game in those critical moments. I just feel that the Celtics are too deep. Now, another player, and this will be the last guy that I make a key point about, is going to be Gordon Hayward. He's somewhat like an X factor coming into this series because he's coming off of the ankle injury that he sustained against the Philadelphia 76ers. When you're adding in a guy who's getting 17 points per game and he's getting about 7 rebounds per game, that's going to be huge for you as a team because it's going to change up how you're going to be, how Brad Stevens is going to handle his rotations. It's going to change the matchups, and it's going to give the Celtics some length. Now, once again, if you've watched any of our other videos regarding the Celtics, I'm not the biggest guy on Gordon Hayward. I'm not the biggest Gordon Hayward fan, but I am going to say that when you're adding in someone who's bringing those kinds of numbers, you're going to need all the horses you can get to get by a team that's led by Jimmy Butler. And the X factor I feel for the Heat is Bam Adebayo. He's a skilled big man who's really coming into his own. He's playing aggressive. He's out dunking, grabbing rebounds. He's going to try and have a serious impact on this series as well. But if it comes down to the reasons why, I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. The reason why I have the Celtics winning, they had the 4th best defense in the NBA, and they're the only NBA team with 3 players who are getting more than 20 plus points per game. I think those factors are going to be a little too much for the Miami Heat to overcome. And if you want to say, well, the Miami Heat were able to beat the Bucks, I never was sold on the Bucks as constructed. I never was sold on Giannis and his potential MVP. I believe that LeBron James is the MVP, this year in the NBA, the deserving MVP, and I was never sold on that team. So I think that, looking at the intangibles for this matchup, the key players that we have going on, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba, coming up against Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, and the rest, I think that the nod's going to go to the Celtics. Well, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think at this potential, who will potentially be the winner in this matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Please leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.